This is Jonathan Moore, the Hometown Historian channel. I'm giving a quick vlog, adventures and whatnot, what's coming up here for the channel this week. Probably can include next week in that as well. Not quite sure exactly yet what I'm going to do video-wise, because I have a lot of options. I have the time, so I want to do a couple of videos that do them justice, because there's a little bit of research that's involved with them. So finally shaved. I hate when I get my hobo beard. I still got to do some shaving cleanup and stuff like that, but yeah, I'll be happy to. I was happy to. I went out to my van and hooked up. I have this electric thing you hook up into the thing that my friend Josh is letting me borrow, and then I can use a shaver. Phenomenal. I feel alive again, because it just feels so gross, and I look like a weird, strange, homeless hobo that's gonna, eat wild raw animals and whatnot. So glad to get that passed. So I want to give an update on myself, how I'm doing, because obviously no longer in the hospital. Little bit of concern there, because you don't know how you're going to react. I have the boot on the left foot, which I'll show you there. That's on the left foot, and then the other shoe that's on the right, which is my Vulcan foot. And then you can see here's the wound vac, the flatulence machine, as I've calling it. Every now and then it gives like a burble, and it sounds like I'm letting them rip, which I don't really think it did it. It just came from Dollar General. Yesterday I made a quick trip over to the post office. But it sounds like I'm having issues and being uncourteous to the public. But it's sort of funny, but it's sort of at the same time, it's like, ugh. But I'm moving around well. One of the concerns was I've been living off of an air mattress, which is only about 8 inches high. Now, thanks to you guys with the GoFundMe and stuff like that, I was able to go buy a 22-inch high. Unfortunately, it's a queen mattress, so it's gigantic. I would have preferred to stick with like a twin or a full, but I didn't think the height on those. I think that the twin was 13 inches, which is still too low for me to get up and off. And the full was, I think, 16 inches. So I went with the bigger one just because of the height. Still figuring a few things out, but overall I'm able to get on and off that. I'm maneuvering with the walker. Stick with the Chuck Norris theme and probably call that walker Texas Ranger. But I amuse myself. But it's been going around good. I'm now able to do some motoring with just the cane, and even by myself, because the feet are fine. Feet are doing great. It's where they had to make that incision in the left foot, which is why I have the boot. That was really, really tender. Still a little uncomfortable, a little tender, a little weak. So I'm having to be careful, but I have much more maneuverability now, which is nice that it's happening as quickly as it is. I'm not pushing it, just to let you guys know I'm being very, very careful. But it is nice that I have a little more maneuverability with my movement and that type of stuff. So going really, really well. I'm able to get my food myself. I'm able to get my drinks myself, that type of stuff. So it's just more like, it's not an ego or a proud thing. It's just being able to do that yourself, to have your independence is important to me. So that's going well. I'm not pushing it too far. So I'm very happy with my progress. I have my first nurse visit today. They have to look at the wound vac, the wound itself, and I think they're supposed to every like 2 days or so replace that, either at the wound center itself or here at home. The idea is, and this is all depending on, I'm a quick healer, So it could be 3 or 4 weeks that I have this wound vac on. It could be 2 weeks. I don't know at this stage. It all depends upon what the surgeon uh, looking at it saying, okay, this is good. We don't need to do the wound vac anymore. I'm on oral antibiotics, which is nice. Uh, so we're in a good place. But I still think before I even consider doing any kind of live filming where I go and like film, it's probably gonna be 2 3 weeks easily before something like that happens. I'm not gonna rush. You guys are the biggest advocates for me healing, and I'm not doing anything that is gonna put that in jeopardy. But just letting you know where I am in that regards. It just we'll see where we're at and go from there. But anyway, so the channel. So thanks to the kindness of Colleen from Colleen Unvarnished, from Cheryl and her son Chris from Sun Plus One, and Angela from A Trail to the Past, those 3 YouTube channels, and our subscribers and part of our family here, the Hometown Historian channel. They have provided me, and also say Kim, who has provided me with uh, another video as well. That one I want to do a little more research on. I believe he was the first Catholic chaplain in the Civil War, who just sort of didn't just go for, because you'd have sometimes with Irish units, you'd have a Catholic chaplain that was just for that unit. He was the first Catholic chaplain who was a chaplain for the masses. So Kim went and did photography on that Pennsylvania historic marker sign. I want to do a lot more research on this guy because I think there's a lot more. The guy was a hero, really, really cool individual in history. The same with Angela's. She sent me Braddock, I believe where he's buried now. I want to do the whole story. I'll also put the link to Cliff's video on that because the guy was a bit of an egotistical idiot, which is why he got himself killed. Really underestimated his enemy. But there was a bunch of unique things about him. It has to do with our history of America as well, because Washington was with him when all this stuff went down. So there's a lot of research that has to happen with that one for me to put that out. I have the time, obviously, but I want to put it together right and do it justice because it's a really cool subject, the same as this Catholic chaplain from the Civil War. So I want to give them both the justice they deserve because I think they're both probably 10 to 15 minute videos. So I got to get a bunch of pictures because these are all videos that I can do from my own home. I edit everything on the phone, video on the phone, and put it together and upload all from the phone. So it's something I can do on the seat of my pants, which is nice. Colleen has a couple that I can probably do pretty quickly. If you heard that was not me, excuse you, wound vac. But anyways, she has a couple like George C. Marshall. She went to, I believe it's Uniontown. There's also one on the Lincoln inauguration. Group of individuals got together in Honesdale, and she has pictures of the house and the marker where they decided that Lincoln would be the nominee for president. So I want to do a bunch of research on that as well. Plus, I'd like to put up the video for Colleen's channel on both that and then the George C. Marshall because she did videos on both. And I think it's important to support each other. And I cannot thank any of these individuals enough for the amount of work that they've gone out and put out on my behalf and the channel's behalf. So there are a couple that Colleen has that probably a little quicker of videos, but I just think I go through everything, go through all my notes, because everything's sort of a little disarray right now. Over the next couple days, I'll get everything organized again. The videos from Cheryl, those are ones I'm going to do very much like I've done the Indian Tower one that she had sent me. That seemed to go off very, very well, doing the parts that audio and then doing, because she sent a ton of pictures, and then do that with music, and that seemed to have worked really, really well and was quite enjoyable setup. So that's something that may, even thanks to Cheryl and Chris, will become a new series called America's Lost Treasures, because it really is. It's a lot. The Indian Tower is a lost treasure. It's not something that a ton of people know about. But yet it's a cool little place to visit along the road, and has a ton of history along with it. So so that's where we are. I do have a number of things. I potentially do another video on J.P. Walborn, Life of Writer. That would be Boys of the Fallen Sun, where I read the prologue. I can do one of those. I have a lot more work to do on the YouTube channels I admire. That's a video I want to put out to just say thanks to all the people that have inspired me and people that have been involved directly with this channel. I have my Conrad Weiser video yet. That's a lot of research, and pictures have been very, very hard to come by. It's a shame because, like George Washington said, posterity will not allow history to forget this man and all he's done. It's paraphrasing, but that's the rough saying of what Washington said, admired what all Conrad Weiser did. But unfortunately, though history itself has not forgotten him, society has. So there is not a ton, unfortunately, out there that should be, because of the impact that he made. But I have that video. I think there's another one as well that I have. So yeah, we have quite a bit here over the next couple weeks. If I don't get the second video out today, whatever that might be, because I haven't decided yet quite which video I'd like to do. One thing I will note, I did find out I was right about, if you remember the Union Canal video, I did that second one, Pennsylvania Historic Marker, and I said I swore that there was another one of those I just happened to go by. I got confirmation of that there is one there. I'm not nuts. I think it's just the weeds and everything had grown so high you couldn't see it from the road, because that Union Canal lock, which is mostly intact, is actually right there near the Lebanon County Refuse Authority. So it is there. It's just being able to see it, because one of the guys that I'd like to interview for the channel, he does a lot on North Annville Township history. He just put up, he does a bunch of really cool historical research. His name's Craig Meyer, and he did something on a couple of different Heilman families. We talked about them with the Hill Lutheran Church, where there's, I think, 146 Heilmans that are buried there. And right where the Lebanon Refuse Authority is right near Heilman Dale, which is named after that family, who immigrated here, I think, in the early to mid 1700s. But anyways, he has two homes, one which has been unfortunately torn down, and the other which is unfortunately going to be torn down as well. But these were homes that were built in the 1800s that I believe one of the individuals that owned one was one that really compiled the Heilman family history. So that's why we have a lot of the information we do. But right across from that home is where one of those Union Canal locks are. So I wasn't going nuts. I did see one there. It's just a matter of, we probably aren't going to be able to see it from the road right now, just because of how it's like a field's right next to it, right near Lebanon Refuse Authority. But thank God that thing hasn't been destroyed, because a lot of times, you know, they just get destroyed. Because I know where Cliff's at with his Union Canal series, he just started in Myerstown, and right near what's called the Tulpehocken Manor, which is where the Lay family was, who, I don't know if it was Christian or Michael Lay, which one was the father and which one was the son, but the father served with General Washington. And the first three locks, I believe, that were made in the Union Canal back when Washington was still alive were there in Myerstown, the Tulpehocken Creek. And if I do pronounce that it's miscorrectly, because somebody had corrected me, it's not Millardsville, it's or I was saying Millersville or something like that. However, I was saying, I was mispronounced. The R is not there, and my Dutchiness, I say Topelhocken, and it's pronounced differently. I had to look at how he put it, so thank you for that, the correct pronunciation. But the Topelhocken Creek, probably pronounced it wrong again. But anyways, that's where the first three were, and Washington actually visited there and slept at that Topolcin Manor in one of the houses there to inspect those first three locks. And then, unfortunately, Union Canal ran out of money. And a lot of times with a lot of these things that they had, there was a lot of corruption. And then I think it was like maybe 20 years later, they started some lotteries. It got bought out by maybe another company. And even with the lottery, most of the money, unfortunately, we done our Union Canal Tunnel Park video and the ones on the Union Canal, a lot of that money just got misappropriated, meaning there was corruption, people stole it, whatever. And that's sort of what happened. It's what sort of went on back then, unfortunately. And so, unfortunately, it could have been a much larger project, much more prestigious, I guess you could say. Unfortunately, when all that money gets stolen, like probably 70-80% winds up going places it's not supposed to. It doesn't go the direction that the people that are making it, engineering it, really want it to go. So it's not able to live up to its full expectancy, its life that it should have. But it's nonetheless, Union Canal is very, very cool, and it was cool to learn. I'm not nuts. I actually did see a lock there. But so that's the channel over the next couple weeks. It's going to be these easy videos, so when I'm putting them out, it's not taking anything out of me or anything. It's just, takes a little bit of effort. So I want to acknowledge a couple people. First off, let me put this here on my knee. Sorry about that, but I'm opening the card. You can still hear my voice. First one is from, sorry about my fingers being in the way there too. I'm not picking that up right. From Jackie and Harry, who sent this really cool card. It's, get well soon. Thank you for the note in there, guys. I'm glad that you guys are enjoying the channel. You like it and find enjoyment in it, and thank you very much for the card. I want to say thank you to Sam and Carol again, who sent a letter and a gift. I also want to say thank you to Linda. She had contacted me because of my health issues and stuff like that. She had sent me a bunch of keto stuff through Amazon. Really do appreciate that. So I'm going to show you a couple of things. I have already, as you can see, gone into this granola. It's keto nut, not the Grand Nut bakery. So that's been delicious and very tasty. She also sent me, there's this huge thing of beef sticks or jerky. I haven't broken into that yet, and that was the machine, not me. I have to clarify. She also sent me a thing of very cool chocolate chip cookies, keto cookies. They are quite tasty. I have not broken into, there's another thing here. There's some sort of tortilla wraps, which are in here as well. And there's also, which I have not broken into this yet, it's a vitamin, or I'm not sure what it is, but I got to open that up and see that what's in there and start taking those because it'll be good for my health. But also want to say thank you to everybody that's been keeping in contact. If I get behind a little bit on the emails, and some of you contact me via Messenger, like Kim, that's how we communicate quite a bit. Some even via text and that type of stuff, but a lot of them is via the hometown historian at gmail.com or .net. I always have the thing up there. I think it's .net. It's gmail.net, but it's the hometown historian, all lowercase, at gmail.net. A number of you have been really faithful for a long time in doing that, and you all know who you are, and I really do appreciate who you are. If I mentioned you, it's not because, none of these people have asked for accolades, not a single one. Uh, I've, even with the channels, they've asked, hey, they want to film together at some point, and but it's just the amount of help that I've gotten from these folks means the world. So, like I said, shouting them out, giving them, you know, constant credit on the channel and stuff like that. It's the right thing to do. But it's also, I feel, they've more than earned, not only via their friendship uh, with the three that have the channels, with Colleen Unvarnished, Colleen, who came up with the viewer submitted video series to begin with, um, Cheryl and her son Chris with Sun Plus One, and then Angie or Angela with A Trail to the Past. They've all been really, really good to me. And Kate, Concerned Grandma, Kim, Roger, who's contacted me, Jay, who's been really, really good with just giving me all kinds of information and things. And so many of you do. Tyrone's been another really good one. And if I fail to mention you, it's just my brain. It's getting older and I don't remember things like I should. But, so many of you, Robbie, we talk every single day, and I will be getting back to you, Robbie. If I haven't by now, I will. I'm okay. Doing quite well, actually. Knock on John knee. But I'm really, really fortunate. I say it a lot, and I'll say it again. I'm fortunate with you guys, and I can't thank you guys enough. This channel has been a godsend. It's been an awesome experience. It'll continue to be an awesome experience, and will continue to grow. And once we get past this current bump in the road, the thing with this one now is to sort of figure out what I can and what I can't do. And that'll be a process. And that'll be a process I'll take with my surgeon, because we've already talked about it. As I get these things healed to the point where I can get the new shoes that are the specialist shoes, I'm going to get specialist socks. Figure out what I all got to do. Like the long hikes, I'm not going to be able to do anymore. That just, unfortunately, I think that's one of those things I got to stay away from. What I'm all able to do, what my new normal is, we'll figure that out. But how I was living, I got to change things up. And maybe there'll be a point at some point where I can do certain things again, but they're all going to have to be really, really watched of what I do. Because the last thing I want to do is ever have my feet open up again and go through surgeries and things like that. But I have a good life ahead of me. It's just a matter of figuring certain things out, and then like the financial aspects of disability, and hopefully be able to get unemployment finally solved. If I have to get my local representative involved to get this fixed, that's what I gotta do. Machine, not me. But we'll figure it out, and we'll go from there. And we got a lot of really cool stuff with the channel, the future of the channel that we're gonna do. A lot of cool plans. I also want to say, I say it a lot as well as of late, but Jared has been a huge help, and is going to continue to be an awesome help. He is the guy that's behind the he's doing currently something with Cornwall Furnace, with getting a very interactive map that, these things take time, but he's trying to finish that process up, that when you go on the Lebanon rail trails, where they've converted the old railroad lines to walking and biking trails. Pretty cool. And this is the one that goes between like Cornwall and Mount Gretna. There's going to be a sign that he's designing that's going to help people understand more what was there, because there really is, like we've discovered with this channel, there's so much history right outside our back door. And Jared is putting together what's called a 4-dimensional map, which basically shows you the map, but a layered map, which is why it's 4-dimensional. And it shows you who was there, the names that a town's gone through, and especially in Cornwall where he's doing, I guess, the first one. There's so much there. It's insane. Like, we've gone through a couple of towns. There's quite a few more, but he's gonna hook me up with a lot of the local historians, which will be a huge help to the channel. And it'll also be really, really cool to get together with these individuals too, so they can share their knowledge with you as well. Um, but that'll be a huge help, and thank you to Jared. We've had a couple of really great phone conversations, which has meant a lot to me. We had one while I was in the hospital there for quite a while. We want to get together, I think, sometime in September, and then in the Hershey area. So a lot of cool stuff here in the future. A lot of great people who have added to the channel. This isn't my channel, this is our channel. At the end of the day, it's our channel, and you guys have contributed so much to the community, to just the general awesomeness of how cool this family can be and what we can continue to grow into. The idea of the channel is to, at some point, you know, right now I've primarily been in 5 counties, primarily more, probably 3 of those counties, but I want to go throughout Pennsylvania. I want to go around the United States at some point, because it's why it's called the Hometown Historian channel. It's not the Lebanon County Hometown Historian channel, it's the Hometown Historian. Hometown history is everywhere. Every single one of us has that as part of the makeup of our being, and that's why hometown history is so important. And it's something that we can all be so passionate about, because it's our heritage. It's home. It's where we're from, who we are, who we're going to become, and that's why it's so essential. So we'll see where certain series will wind out going, especially like the About Town series, depending on what my capabilities are. Sort of those walkabout towns, maybe much shorter walks. They may be broken into much shorter videos. But like Jared and I were talking about, you find new ways to do things, and really is with modern media, the media implements that you have available to you. I was able to cut a video right there in the hospital. You know, who would have thought I'd be able to do that? But, you know, and that's thanks to our fellow viewers and family members here of the Hometown Historian channel that I was able to do that. So you guys are awesome. Give yourself a pat on the back. And thank you for once again coming along on this next adventure. This wound up being a much longer video, but I wanted to give you that update on where I'm at, because this was a big step going from the hospital back to home, because I was hoping to originally go rehab facility, but it's worked out. So happy for that. Happy where that's gone. Thank you to you all. And like I said, if I am a little slow on email response, it's not, I'm not ignoring you or anything like that. I just, sometimes I'm tired. Machine again. I do apologize for my wound vac. He's not a very genteel fellow. There's a habit of wearing his feelings on his sleeve and letting go of his inner gases with mirth. But a lot of fun for this channel here in the future. A lot of cool stuff upcoming. Be a little slow for a couple weeks, but I've handled this in ways that's been harder because of going through more surgeries, because there's more stuff that's been taken. You know, left foot is half a foot. My hoof still weighing whether I want to go with pink or sky blue for my mane as I go into becoming a My Little Pony, or at least try to say, hey, are you guys willing to accept me into the club? You know, whether I be Perky Peach or whatever my new name would be. But got a lot of good stuff coming up. So thanks for coming on this adventure again today. And like I said, either today or tomorrow, I gotta look through my notes, see what pictures I have, because as I go over to the camera and then start doing everything on the laptop, it'll be a lot easier to keep track of things. I won't have to worry about the music copyright claims and stuff like that because I'll be using all that kind of stuff, which is I don't have to worry about that anymore. But it'll also be much more organized, so it'll be a little easier for me to decide what videos I want to do. I can also have a backlog like Cliff has. I think he has like 20 some videos backlog. So I'd like to get to that stage. So if I am going through a period like this, which hopefully I don't, but if I do have something where I'm just sort of down and out for a week, I have videos lined up that I can have that continual content. And then as we get up to 800 or 900 subscribers, we'll start talking about the Patreon page. And once I'm having, I said, a big thing for me is I want to have that continual everyday content. I also like to have the content on the various platforms of social media that I'm on, being Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, of course. So we're almost there. And then we'll start talking about merch store and things like that. We'll be getting some of those things accomplished over the next couple months and grow from there. And then I'll probably be looking at then at that stage, hopefully being able to maybe film if it doesn't get too late in the year where we start getting into winter where it's not as fun to film, trying to get out to film with Angela with a Trail to the Past, like to get out to film with Colleen if she's into that, and also Cheryl and I have talked about filming with her and her son Chris at some point up in northeast Pennsylvania area, and I'm very, very much looking forward to that. I have a couple other friends I'd like to film with as well, and I'm sure at some point as I get better, then Cliff and I will do some more filming. He has to be cognizant of the fact, like what he's will try to get me out to do are things where there's not as much walking, because a lot of his stuff, he's very much out there doing his walking and that kind of stuff, and that's just stuff I can't do at this stage. So we'll find videos that we can do together that don't take that, and it's something that works for both of our channels, and try to get a little more involved with doing some stuff, maybe even getting that searching for history series going again, because we haven't done one of those in a while, but the health has been really bad for a while, so hopefully we're turning corner on that, and then we'll go from there. But thank you for coming along, and as always, as we always say, we will see you all about town.